God, please, no! 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 No!
Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in two different tanks, and it's a special video because they're two replays in two different tanks by two different players. One is Gizmo and the other is the Randy Duck. They're coincidentally both on Abbey, and it's the Chisel and the Senlac, so two very similar tanks as well. Now this is the first replay with Gizmo. He has a YouTube channel, I'll link it in the description down below. He has a couple of games on there already. He's got some good commentary on there. He speaks out what he's thinking of doing, all that sort of stuff, which is really good because then you guys get to know what the guy is actually thinking when he's playing the game. So first off, I'm going to put it out there, if the quality of the video is a little worse on this replay than the next one, it's because this one is recorded in 720, so it's just a little bit worse than the 108op video that Randy recorded, so it might just render up a little bit worse, pixelated, all that sort of things. Just get that out of the way, just tell you guys. So I do want to do more community replays. I want to get you guys involved with this channel, get you showing off your games and stuff like that. And someday soon I'm going to record a video to show you guys on Xbox anyway, because I'm not too sure with PS, because Gizmo here is a PlayStation player and I don't own a PlayStation, so I don't know how you'd record, although I do know it's a lot easier with the PlayStation with setting up the recordings without having anything extra. With the Xbox anyway, I do plan on recording a video to show you guys how you guys can very easily record your games, and it's how I record mine, it's how Randy does his, and it's simply just using a memory stick. That's it. And I'll show you guys how to do that, and then I'll also set up an email or some way of letting you guys send me the files through Dropbox. So yeah, and then we can get you guys more involved in the channel, but I need to set all that up, and that takes time. And hopefully one day that will be a thing for the channel. So these are the first two of the community replays. And in this one, Gizmo has taken up the middle road on Abbey. And he's got a few nice shots into the guys going up onto the middle of the Abbey. He got a lot of assistance by spotting those guys as they went up into it, which is always nice because he's got the TDs and the medium tanks behind him. So when he was spotting them, he's up to 3k spotting, as you see, which is always great. This Conqueror came around the corner and he got all the spotting on him, which is great as well. He got a little bit unlucky with that middle road as well, and the fact that he actually got shot in the turret twice and penned, which this is a good turret. It's not infallible, but it's a good turret because the Chisel is a fantastic tank. And he got unlucky in the fact that they killed his commander twice, which is always frustrating, but hey-ho, that happens. He gets lucky there to bounce the light tank off his backside, but the Chisel does have spaced armour. He manages to get a lucky RBRT into the light tank there. I mean, when you're RBRTing at a fast-moving light tank like that, especially when they're travelling sideways, it's always actually hard to hit them at that point. And yeah, getting the RBRT off there as well is fairly lucky because you're leaving it all down to chance. If he dipped down a little bit too low there, the auto-aim would have been aiming at the middle of his tank and just led it into the ground, whereas if he'd aimed more, he might have hit it with no problems. But he did get, he got fortunate enough there to hit the light tank, so take it. RNG is a cruel mistress, and it's also fantastic like that. And now he's moved up into the middle of the Abbey because their team's vacated it, all their players are dead there. And from the middle of this Abbey, which you're going to see in both replays, you can really work out a lot of damage. You can get lots of damage into the enemy team from these positions, and it's a very strong key position because obviously if they roll into your base, you can get nice shots into your base and defend it, although actually not with these alternate spawns, and you can attack their base. Like this Jagdpanzer right now is just stuck. He's just done because there's nothing he could have done against Gizmo there. He was stuck sideways on against him. It was either turn for Gizmo or get shot by our team. So now Gizmo's got rid of the Jagdpanzer. He is going to move up and is going to try and get shots at these guys down here. Now, he's going to take a risk here in RBRTing at that machine. Again, it's one of those things, if he'd actually aimed that, he might have hit it. Because when he auto-aimed it, the machine just had his front end round the corner in just the middle of his tank, whereas if he'd aimed it, he might have been able to just slap in the back end. I mean, I tend to do that anyway. I mean, especially when you realise that you might get shot trying to move to a position, it's always useful. So right here, he's loaded Hesh for the FV 4005, and he auto-aimed it, so it actually hit the Centurion's hull that the FV 4005 has. If it hit the turret, it'd have killed it. Now, the Hesh is a good idea, because he only had 360 health, that FV 4005, and with the damage roll changes, 360 doesn't come around all that often with your 400 alpha AP CR. It just doesn't. So the Hesh was a good idea. But the FV 4005, you're not going to pen unless you hit the turret with the Hesh. Well, that's a lie, actually. No, that's a lie. Centurion hulls, like the Conway 4005 or the Centurions, you can pen in the lower plate with the Hesh of a Chisel or a Chieftain because it's got 140 pen. So you can pen the lower plate. But sideways on, it's just going to get splashed, which is what happened with that FE 4005. So unfortunately, if he just aimed, he would have hit the turret. But nevertheless, the FE 4005 died, and his team has done really well here. So he's on 4.5k damage, 3.4k spotting. Really nice game. He's up to like what? Quick maths, brain, hurt. Come on, 8k combined? Yeah, 8k combined. And he's on the hunt for the artillery, so he's going to go search out this artillery in maybe the artillery position, which he's not found, and he's just hoping to find it. It's not here, unfortunately, so there's only really one other spot it might be, which is if you're always on this map and they've got this spawn or the other spawn, there's always a position the artillery might be, and that's on this little island over here, which they will only get spotted if you go onto the island, because the only way to spot people on that island is proxy spotting. So Gizmo's thinking, yeah, it might be over there. So he's just going to poke around here, and yeah, the artillery's in a really unfortunate position. He's managed to flip himself in water, and Gizmo shuts him down for 500 odd. So Gizmo had a really nice game there. He's a really nice guy. He's got good replays on his channel. Honestly, go check him out. He finished with 3 kills, 5k damage, 1600 base, and a pretty nice game for the Chisel. The Chisel is a fantastic tank. It got nerfed a little while ago, but the nerf hasn't hurt it at all, especially with the new crew system, and the fact that it's like DPM nerf that it received has basically been null and voided by the 10% extra crew skill for rapid loading. So yeah, you want to get the Chisel, especially when it comes out on the Mercenary contract. But that Gizmo showed off what this tank can do perfectly well. It can work hull down, it's got good mobility, it's got a great gun. It's just a fantastic all-round tank. And it's definitely one that people should want to get. And thank you very much to Gizmo for sending that in to be able to show it off. So here we are in the second replay. And this time, we're with the Randy Duck. And Randy has a YouTube channel as well. They both have YouTube channels. If you have a YouTube channel and you send it in at that point, I mean, the best way at the minute is to send it to me on Discord and say, hey, do you want to just feature this replay? Show me the end screenshot and I'll consider it. And yeah, that's the best way. So Randy Duck has a YouTube channel. Brain, think. Yeah, it's hard. And it's down in the description. At the minute, he doesn't do commentaries because of hardware setup things. But he has a lot of very, very good replays on that channel. He's a very good player, and you're going to see that in this replay. And this is Abby, but from the other spawn, and it's normal spawns. So, instead of sitting on the D5 area, like Gizmo did from the other side, he's actually moved up into the Abbey. And that's because of the way the teams have set up. So, obviously for Gizmo, he got to the middle road, spotted 5 people going up like like Randy's team has here, and he did the right thing, and he sat hull down and kept fighting. Randy moved up, took the aggressive position. No one of their team moved in. Perfect scenario. And from this middle area, Randy is going to absolutely decimate the enemy team. And he's just going to get shots out everywhere, which is really nice. So he's looking for shots at these guys over here. He gets a shot into the UDES. And he's hoping to get another shot in. Because that UDES is just moving up. Can he get it? No, unfortunately, he doesn't hit him blind. And he's got a free farm on these guys. These guys over here are fighting our team down the 8 line. And he has got 3 shots at them as they pull back basically to try and hide from our team. He gets a nice shot that tracks that 704 there. And is aiming a little bit high. I don't know if he's trying to go for the tracks there. He's actually aiming at the back end of that 704, and obviously because it's Russian, he could set it on fire, but he's not. He's rolling low quite a lot, unfortunately. And that 704's gone, but now he's got a shot into the side of the 777 version 2. And again, low rolls. It would have killed him with one shot less if it hadn't have rolled low. But now there's another shot. Look, free reign. This position here is honestly a great one, because you can get shots down to where these guys are right now. You get shots on the 8 line if they cross. It's just really nice. And what I like to do as well is from this position, if their team is in their base, push off of this ledge where Randy is, and there's just that little hill just on the right hand side, and that means you can get shots into their base. And if you get shot at from their base and it's just not a good enough position, you can just drop back into the hole below and you'll stay safe. So Randy's trying to see if he can finish off this UDES, or say finish him off, get another shot in. And unfortunately he can't finish him off, but he does get another shot into him. And it's only been 3 minutes, and he's for 4.5k damage. And this game has really worked out well for him, because just the position of the enemy team. And unfortunately he doesn't get to finish off the M48 120mm either. And he's realised the base is going to be a struggle, because these heavy tanks are marauding. So he's going to push over to where the T49 is to see if he can get some shots in. He gets spotted. He's looking for shots at the T79E, but he realises he can finish off the 705, so he does that. And now he's just got free reign of some shots into these guys. So hopefully he'll get a shot into the 277. He does. He gets a nice shot into the 277. And he's in a very, very good position, right? Because that 279E gets turned sideways on for him, so he gets a shot into his side. And if they push into his base now, he can cover it really easily. And because the Senlac has good view range, I think it's 410, and Randy most definitely has a very good crew in this, he'll always spot them in the cap. They can't cap from this position, but equally, if he gets spotted, they can shoot him quite easily. And the Senlac is, you know, paper-thin armour. So, yeah, it's a risky one. But at the same time, Randy can spot them, and he has got cover in front of him. So if he needed to, he could pull back and stay unspotted through the foliage. And fortunately enough for him, again, the 279E and the Valor are making the mistake of driving across the open in towards his base. Now, the push across that open field, especially when you know there's people in the Abbey when they've been shooting at you, is a very risky one. It's not one that I'd do, and they are getting punished heavily for this push. Now you see here, Randy's got foliage in front of him. He's got this tree, which is actually provided in the camo, which means these guys can't see him, which is working out brilliantly for him. He manages to finish off the 279E, and I don't know if the Valor's dead. I don't think it is. He's just unspotted, but he's giving up on that. He's seen the TD there, the 268 version 5, and he's like, right, I'm going to go help my friends now, the heavy and the TD, and basically just distract or really hurt this 268. So he's not got all the health anymore, and yeah, help them. But obviously there's a waffle over there as well, which just deletes that to 268 V5. And now that 268 version 5's gone, the threat to his guys in their base is gone, and there's only really one area where their team could be at the minute, or where some of the tanks could be anyway, and that's where this Valor is, in his base, and he's trying to get a shot, but unfortunately the house is in the way. And right now I'd push straight up there and try and get a shot into this Valor, but the M48 120mm gets spotted at right there, and you can see Randy thinks, you know, instead of going up here and trying to get a shot at the Valor, he's going to try and flank round the Valor and get some shots, hopefully, into the M48 120mm, and try and finish off the Valor itself. Because, to be fair, that Valor is actually in a dip, and doing what I would have done, which is probably just rush straight up onto the ridgeline where the TD is, I still wouldn't have got a shot into the Valor, and he would have been hulled down. So you see, Randy's managed to flank round, get onto this area here, on the other side of the cap. He tries to get a shot into the M48 120, the M48 120mm literally just runs away, and he's just going to pop over it and finish off this Valor. It doesn't matter that he takes the hit, because obviously Randy knows that he's full health, and that Valor just needed to go. So you can take one for one. If it's a tank for 400 hit points, you know, it's sometimes worth that trade. If you can get rid of something but you can't do it safely, you're just going to have to do it. And Randy does that because he knows if he gets rid of that Valor, he can now move on and chase after this M48. And it's really him now chasing this guy, because there's 4 tanks left. There's artillery that nearly hit Randy there. It's a batch at 15558. There's the M48 and a heavy tank that I don't know where that is. Now the light tank gets spotted down near the heavy at H89, and unfortunately it's a T-54 lightweight that actually finishes off the waffle, and he's just going to be a bit of a nuisance. The M48 has fully run away from Randy. Randy was being a bit cautious there, which is what you should do, because obviously he's at 1400 hit points, the M48 himself, and Randy's at 1521, but the M48 doesn't have the best DPM in the world. This tank fires way quicker. If they all ind each other, the Senlac would win very comfortably. It's got a better gun, it's got better DPM. The only thing that would help the M48 is the hull of the M48 pattern, because the M48 pattern would probably have the chance of maybe bouncing. He got unfortunate there with the shot on the Badger that it missed, which you can see when he aimed low there. He's like, oh, god damn it. He pops a shot blind at the Badger to see if he can hit him. Unfortunately, he doesn't, and he's just going to move up into these bushes over here to see if he can get a shot at the M48 120mm. But unfortunately, he gets unspotted there, which means he doesn't get a shot into it. The Badger's still over there, and that's one thing I'd always say is, people always say I take risky shots. I've seen people comment on the videos and stuff and go, oh, you took shots that I just wouldn't. And Randy did it there with the Badger. A lot of people would have just not shot when that Badger got unspotted. They'd just give it up and then moved up. It's always worth taking the shot, because you don't pen the shots you don't take. Yeah, that's the same, right? So you always want to take the chance, right? If something gets unspotted and then you reload within 2 seconds of it getting unspotted, you may as well take a punt. You may as well see if you can hit it, because you never know, you might hit it blind and you might get more damage, or you might not. And if you're in a situation where you're not going to be fighting anything else anyway, you may as well take the chance. So Randy unfortunately can't get a shot at the artillery there. The artillery looks like he's going to go drown himself. T49 says, no, 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 you're not allowed. No, go away. And shuts him down. He pops out around this corner to try and get a shot into the M48 120mm. The M48 120mm does what is very powerful at the minute. RBRTs him, because he never knew that Randy was there. He wasn't spotted. He just clicked on and clipped him there. And Randy's now going to try and get a shot into this guy again. He's not even looking at him. And again, he just snaps the shot in. It's in 6.0, that is just such a powerful tool, the RBRT. Because you do hit so many shots that you probably wouldn't have done pre 6.0. And it can be really annoying. That's just because of the accuracy changes with the crew system, basically. Randy's fantastic driver. He's been learning from me, everybody. He learned that from me. That's some great driving, okay? I don't want to hear it from the back of the room, okay? This is brilliant driving, okay? Yeah. So unfortunately, Randy didn't get to finish off that light tank, but he had an absolutely banging game on Abbey there in the Senlac.
A great success!